Today, talking to Margaret Bullock Johnson in her home in Earlville, and this is the 14th of March, 1987. Melvin Mitchell's the video man today, and I'm Kenneth Stockley. We're working with the Earlville Historical Society, talking to people around Earlville about their recollections of the town and things that happened in days gone by, and we wanted to talk to Margaret especially about her beautiful home here. And since we're here and talking, Margaret, I thought you were born in Earlville, but you weren't, you tell me.
Right on the prairies of South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Yes, it's White Lake, South Dakota.
White Lake, oh.
I have two vivid memories. One is a horrible prairie fire.
Oh boy.
Our father had gone out to get the cattle, and I thought, of course, I'd never see him again. We stood there and cried.
Oh, the grass was burning and everything?
Yes, terrific prairie fire.
Did it burn, was it burning toward your home or where you lived?
No, it was really burning the other direction, but you know, a child could believe it.
Oh.
The worst things can happen.
Certainly.
And the other was a beautiful horse that cut his leg, and the prairie, the barbed wire.
Barbed wire. Yeah, that happens with horses.
Yes.
I've had that happen to a pony of mine once.
Yes, you did.
It's tragic.
It is tragic.
But you left South Dakota at an early age.
I was 5 years old. Been here ever since.
Did you come to Earlville at that?
Yes, came in on the Northwestern Railroad.
Oh, and who did you live with in Earlville?
My Aunt Phoebe, who was my mother's sister.
Oh,
and
that Phoebe Chase?
Phoebe Chase. And my mother died when I was 12, and I lived down with her. So stayed on with my Aunt Phoebe Chase. So,
and where was your home at that time then? When you came, when you lived with Miss Phoebe?
North of the track.
North of the track. What house was that?
Second house on the end of the street, north of the railroad.
You said it was next to, who lives next to George?
George Gould.
Next to George Gould. Yeah. And then you went, I suppose you went through the Earlville Schools.
Through the Earlville Schools, and taught out in the country for 2 years, walked back and forth 3 miles.
Well, now did you go to higher education in the high school?
University of Illinois.
And did you teach the country school during this time or before?
In those days, if you passed the county exam, you could teach in the country school.
Oh, you didn't have to really have any more than a high school education to do that.
And the diploma from the county, from Mr. Foster, the county superintendent. And then 2 years, and then I went to university.
What school did you teach? The country school?
It used to be the Cox School. It's out here on the
Oh,
main
the
highway.
Cox School. Oh, we were just talking to Bob Cox this morning,
Yes.
and that school was mentioned. In fact, Melvin, I think, said he attended the Cox School at one time.
Yeah, that was, well, that was it. Those 2 years.
Did you walk then to
So the transportation I had was
You
to walk.
walked to school and walked home.
3
Well, all
miles.
the students probably walked. They rode ponies or something.
3 miles out, 3 miles back.
3 miles out and 3 back.
I rode anything that would invite me. I even climbed up on top of a boat of hay. once.
Any way you could get a little transportation.
Anyway, I got some transportation. I took it.
Then you built the fires probably.
Oh,
and,
of course, I had to go out and get the fuel from northeast corner of the building, of the yard.
Typical. I went to a country grade school for 8 years, so I remember some of those days too.
Yes.
They were, and I really still feel we got a good education there too.
Chet Huntley has written a book recently, The Glory of the Something Years, and in which he pays tribute to the country school.
Good.
He said so many of our great men have come out of those small schools. They heard the subject matter over and over and over.
That's right, and
I stayed with them.
we got to hear all 8 grades at one time. You know, you just weren't on one grade. You heard everything.
That's right. I had some distinguished members, George Myers and Dan Hum, bless his heart, down in the flame as well. And
They were students of yours?
students.
So then you went to the university.
Yes, for 4 years.
And came back
to
teach.
And
What was your major in English in the university?
Yes.
Was your major field?
that was mine. And then after several years of teaching, I began to go to summer school to get a master's degree. And after 4 summers, I had a master's degree. And I remember the first September, when I stood before the class, after I had my degree, I thought, I wish I could call all of my former students back. I had so much more to give them.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the best degree does.
It gives you more,
So
a broader
much,
field,
so
more,
much
more to draw on.
So much more to the students.
Then did you teach in Earlville
Yes,
most of your career?
All of
then?
it.
All of your career.
Yes.
You were high school English,
Yes,
and then I remember you were, was it principal?
Well, for a
some
few years,
time?
not for long. That was sort of to fill in the gap there. That wasn't my major.
You must have taught for over, what, over 40 years, probably?
20, from 23 to 64, I think.
64. Well, now, it's interesting to talk to you about your teaching career, but what we really wanted to talk to you about today was your beautiful home here and how you acquired this home and how you happened to be here and a little of the history of the house. And I know this was covered during the house walk that Earlville had last October, but we wanted to get it on the video today.
I'm glad to tell you. The Burlingame family came here in 1845, lived on this farm north of town. There were 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. And in 1906, the son bought this house. The Hates built it in 1897.
The Hates.
Yes, Whittemore Haight built this house in 97. And he died in 1906, and then Burlingame bought the house.
So it was a fairly new house at the time. Then,
Yes, reasonably so. And
the architecture looks reminiscent of New England. Is that right?
It is a New England pattern. It was originally pink with white trim and brown shutters.
Well, I seem to, would I remember those colors? Was it that color for quite a while?
Yes, it was.
I seem to remember it not being white
Well, that was it.
a number of years ago.
Yes, that was it.
It was pink with brown shutters.
Brown shutters. And
the architecture is unusual in that there's, well, now we're in a parlor here, and it looks like there's 2 parlors.
there's a double parlor.
Is that?
The front parlor was open for rare occasions, weddings and funerals, and when the minister called.
Oh, so there actually was 2 parlors.
Oh,
that
yes,
was
yes.
constructed that way.
There were 2 parlors. This was that's his way, and this, of course, was a sitting room, and this other room now was that was another sitting room where they sat in the evenings and cracked nuts and read and chatted and so on. And then, of course, when I moved in here, I had no place for my books, so I had to put the shelves built in. So it made it into the library.
Well, now, the Miss Burlingame I remember was what related how to the man that bought the house.
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh,
next.
okay.
Yes. Mr. Burlingame died in 27, I think. And his widow lived a few years more. And then Miss Fanny lived here alone until she became ill in 36, I think. She was a librarian over here for 40 years, you know.
Librarian, yes, I remember her in the library for some time.
We can thank her for that very fine library.
Yes.
And she had no one to care for her. She had grown to be very fond of me. She says, "My dear, if you'll see me through this problem, you may have my property."
Oh, I see.
And we had a practical nurse who was here all the time.
With her?
With her, a practical nurse, and I filled in weekends and Sundays and holidays and so on.
Oh, sure.
But I was here, I was a standby, although I was teaching at the time. And she died in 43.
It became your house then?
My house and my farm.
Oh.
And she used to say, "If this is too much for you, my dear, sell it." But I loved it so.
Oh, yes.
And I wish you could see it now.
Yes, you've kept it up remarkably.
Well, it restored it.
You've restored it, yes.
Restored it.
That's what.
That's right. The income from the farm was used largely to care for invalids because there were several in the Burlingame family. And so when it came to be mine, I began to refurbish it, and it took a long time.
I can see you've done a lot. I notice the chandeliers in the two parlors.
Yes,
They're certainly
beautiful.
distinctive.
Yes, they are.
And we'll take pictures of them as we move around the house.
Yes.
But could you tell us about the chandeliers?
Yes, I was going to tell you what one of the students said. I had these receptions for the students. You remember those?
Well, I remember when you had the receptions for the senior class.
Well, on prom night.
Prom night, okay.
Prom afternoon, late afternoon. And I remember one of the boys, was a sandwich boy, when he went out the door, he said, "Miss Bullock, how long did it take you to do this?" And without thinking, I said, "All of my life." All of my life, and I have. This is my life.
That's certainly shows it too.
Well, thank you. I love it, and I'll stay as long as the Lord will let me live.
I like the pictures. I noticed the picture behind the camera there. That's a beautiful picture.
That's a beautiful picture. Mrs. What was her name? And this one is my pet, though. This is from the Port Aransas area. The gulls.
Oh.
It's out on the ocean.
Port Aransas, Texas?
Port Aransas, yes.
Mm-hmm. Texas, that's down the Gulf area, isn't it?
No, it's northwest, near Seattle.
Oh, that area, okay, Seattle.
100 miles northwest of Seattle.
Oh.
And I love that picture.
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't see gulls in the Midwest very much
No,
like that.
not apparently. And yes, I think that's a very nice picture.
You had, I know there's some fireplaces in this house.
Two.
Are they?
One upstairs, one down.
Oh, they're one upstairs and one down.
And they haven't been used for so long. The chimneys would have to be re-lining. I wouldn't dare touch the mast or anything.
Are they? Aren't they marble construction?
Yes, from Vermont marble. White downstairs and gray upstairs. You do.
Oh.
If you want it upstairs, you may.
Well, we may after a while.
Yes.
Now, I suppose with this larger house, there must have been provisions for maids or domestic help?
I'll show you the maid's room when we go upstairs.
Oh.
It's my junk room now.
Oh.
It's where I keep everything here. It has to do with,
There was a household staff evidently
Well,
at one time to help.
well, they had a hired man, yes, and very often these are the aides that did this. They hired a couple.
Oh.
And the maid, there's a back stairway, as you'll see. The maid would go down in the morning, go to the fire, and then make the garden and clean the vegetables. And the land went back to the driveway, way back.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a garden, and well, that was it.
They probably had the maid might have done some cooking too, perhaps, or they had a cook.
And there was a utility room on the west end of the house, because they brought in the vegetables and things, and did the washing there and so on.
Now, was there ever any outbuildings?
A barn,
It was a barn.
which Miss Fanny sold before she died. The Zimmerman bought
Oh, that's where.
to build their house.
I noticed a hitching post, and it looked
Oh,
like
yes,
for
yes.
horses
Yes, I
at one
remember
time.
the horse, and then this carriage block out here.
Yes, the carriage.
The women live all on those fishy skirts, but get up there and get in without getting them soiled.
You could pull the carriage right up alongside of it and step right out or step in.
That's right.
Much more
It's
easy.
what I know in town, this carriage block.
That's what I thought too. How many rooms are there upstairs?
3 large rooms and a small one.
3 large. Do you use the upstairs yet also?
Oh, I sleep up there.
Oh, you sleep upstairs?
I'm
I noticed the staircase, the beautiful staircase.
Isn't that a beauty?
It certainly is, yeah.
And I spent, I don't know how many months of my life to refinish it.
Oh, you did? There's a reason it's so beautiful.
7 gallons of varnish remover.
Oh, boy.
I was still teaching, and I used to work nights and weekends.
Mm.
And that's what it took, was 7 gallons of varnish remover. And, of course, I never, it was a stain and varnish is what made it look old and dreary, But when you go upstairs, you see it's a beautiful.
What kind of wood is that?
Black walnut.
Black walnut, oh, that's
It's a beautiful, I think it's the prettiest stairway I ever saw.
beautiful wood.
Is it beautiful?
When it's finished properly.
That's right. I kind of, first when I did, I thought, oh, good Lord, I can't do all this. And I began to count. And I think there are 47 spindles.
Oh, 47.
But it was so beautiful, I thought, well, I guess I
It's
can
well worth
stay with it.
well worth doing it. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I noticed your wallpaper, it fits the decor so well, too.
I take no credit for the wallpaper.
Oh.
When it came time for me to refurbish the house, you remember Mr. Hanson, of course.
Yes.
Mrs. Hanson was an artist. She should have been an interior decorator. She really was.
I know.
I said, Mary, I need help. I know what I like when I see it, but I don't know how to find it. So you go, honey. And so she's responsible. I think we have beautiful paper here.
I do too.
And she's responsible for it all, from front door to back.
Where did you find the paper?
Some of us came from Mongolia.
Oh.
And I'll tell you what about it later on. And this came from Elgin, where they remember he became a headmaster up there. And then after they went to, no, this is what came from there. After they moved, I called her in Florida where they went to live. And she said, well, I'll look for you. So she went to a decorator store down there and gave her the number of the catalog.
Oh.
And I went back to Elgin and found this.
Found it.
And I just loved it. I think it's beautiful.
Well, and all the rooms fit together so well, you know, and the period, they are compatible with the period
That's right.
of the house.
And the library is old New England. Let's see, yes, and the hall is old New York. You'll see the difference in it. And pictures of the long people.
We'll look at that as we go around.
Yes. And the dining room is a replica of the earliest paper we got from the Orient. That's beautiful.
Oh, it is. Well, now the furniture, was the furniture, much of the furniture here when you came, or is this mostly furniture you have acquired over the years?
Well, this came from the barn, a broken down thing. Miss Fanny said, there's an old broken down love seat up there in the barn.
Beautiful.
If you want it, you can have it. If not, throw it out. Throw this out.
It's beautiful.
And Jim Pritchard.
Oh, yes, the upholsterer and Harding.
I just love it. I think it's such a pretty thing.
Oh, it fits the room, too. It's a good spot for it.
Some of these chairs, that Davenport, I bought. Little red chairs. But these little fellows like this, yes, like this.
The cane bottom, sort of?
I did the caning.
Oh, you did? You did the caning? Oh, is that right? I didn't know you were so talented.
Oh,
Margaret.
I tell you. It's amazing.
Well, why don't we, it's nice sitting here to chat, and I think we could talk all afternoon and reminisce, but would you like Margaret in the picture, or just stay right where you are. You'll just survey each room, and you can see what.
They said that they did it, and I said, I don't know what you want. She should have two of these, one for each room, and I don't know if she want to take it.
And the matching chandelier.
Yes.
And the two rooms do match a lot, don't they? Of course, this has the bay window. And this one, bay window.
That's where I like to be, right there.
It's a good, well-lighted place.
Then we can go through that room and upstairs.
All right. Get a shot of the staircase. Is that so?
He gave me that.
It almost looks like a photograph. It's so realistic.
Yes, isn't it lovely? And I think that's a charming chair.
It is. You probably had that reupholstered.
Oh, yes. Oh.
The same type of wood.
That was hard work.
I think so.
And it was, how many gallons of varnish? Oh, 7. 7 gallons of
7
varnish.
gallons.
7 gallons of varnish. Keith Harris made my font.
Oh, Keith made the font. We run a few of his around town, the clocks he's made. Right.
Yes.
Now, was the niche for Abraham there all the time?
No, it was there all the time.
That wasn't just your addition?
No.
Oh. Well, how about Abraham? Was he your addition?
He's my addition.
He's your addition.
Yes.
Fits very well.
One of his embodiments of portraits.
Fits very well.
That's pretty. That's the last thing I did, I think.
Do you have hot water heat? I see a steam register.
I don't turn this one on unless it's very cold. And those I can regulate the amount of gas I use that way. Because I'm never up here except when I'm in bed and I'm warm there.
Oh, I don't really like a real warm bed
No.
myself. I sleep better in a cool bed.
Yes.
Well, certainly, I like your drapes too. Where do you get the drapes, Margaret?
Out of our boutique.
I saw, seen several robins recently. The
I saw
robins
two.
are here, I believe.
They're here, yes, that's right.
They are here.
For this house.
That's Dan Burley.
And that was painted by a local artist, Willard Bernardo, who was a very fine artist, but he came home and died of TB. He was in New York many years. But I think that's a very fine picture.
That is. It's.
And I don't know what I'll do with it. Miss Fanny made me a promise and never sell it or give it away. So I don't know what I'll do when the time comes.
It's certainly an appropriate place for it, right there.
Isn't that
over,
nice?
over the fireplace.
Isn't that
It
nice?
just looks like it belongs there.
Yes, it does. Maybe I'll leave it there.
Well, that's where it looks natural.
Yeah, I think it does too. Yeah, that's why when the Wileys sold their property, I bought it. I think it's very pretty.
It is pretty.
But I really worked on that. It had been next to window and the damage had been done to the woodwork.
You got it looking like new.
That's his life in the university library.
Oh. Well, now they're still using his bequest, the interest from the bequest, I guess.
Just on the bequest, that's what.
To purchase.
That's the way the will reads. It may not be used for anything but books for young people.
I know there's a sticker, I've seen a sticker or an inscription on many of the books there.
Yes.
Purchased
Clyde
through
Snow.
the benefit of Clyde Snow.
Yes, we were very fortunate. I said we because I was on the board so many years.
Oh,
But
yes.
we were fortunate to have that.
That's great.
That's helped us greatly.
What is this room then, Margaret?
This is the master bedroom.
This is a master bedroom? Oh, look at the bed. And
This and that over there are just priceless, I think.
I should say.
That was bought from Miss Fanny when she was a young woman. Yeah,
Oh.
her mother bought it there on a farm. Isn't that beautiful?
It is beautiful and so well. Okay.
Last summer, Emery's daughter-in-law,
Oh,
and he was overwhelmed with furniture.
is that so?
Made me feel like
Feel like you had something here, huh? Yeah.
$5,000.
Is that what he appraised it at? $5,000. I can believe it. It's one of a kind, certainly. And now this was a matched set, I
1,
presume.
2, 3. They go together, see.
The three pieces.
Yes. But I'm not advertising.
You need to keep insurance though to cover it.
I have prior insurance.
That's important. And even that wouldn't replace it.
Oh, in the back is there's a furniture store here named Barnard and Radley. Can you read that?
There are markings. I can't make them out.
And this is what's printed on the back from top to bottom. Barnard and Radley, Earlville, Illinois. From Buffalo to Chicago by steamboat. From Chicago to Earlville by Burlington Railroad.
Is that right? It's on the back.
On the back of this chest.
It's still there now.
Still there now. I didn't take that off.
Leave it on there. Don't
I
take
did.
it off.
I did.
Don't take it off.
No, I left that off.
That's that makes it valuable. Very
You want
valuable.
to guess what he said this was worth? $2,000.
$2,000.
Why, the whole thing?
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah. But still, it's historical.
And that is unusual.
It is.
The house that the Wrights bought, the Wiley house, Dr. Wiley's father built one closet in the whole house.
I noticed that. It had hardly any closets.
No.
And they used those wardrobes instead.
Yes,
The
wardrobes.
in
Trunks,
there.
yes. But this, I think
That's
this.
way ahead of its time.
Yes.
Walk-in closets are not recent, or only recent addition.
That's right. Oh, 2 steps down, don't stumble.
2 steps, and this must have been, this wasn't always a bathroom. Oh, yes.
They, of course, in those days, the funerals were all at home.
Does the bell work?
Right.
It works. Even if electricity is off, it works.
Yeah. I got out of your way.
The room you were talking about where the family would eat
Yes.
nuts and
Yes.
there's light, plenty of light coming in.
And some of them, I think the heat set east for a barrel of Spitzenberg apples, that were raised in Massachusetts.
Oh, they bring them have them shipped back here
Shipped back
because
here.
that was their favorite
That's their favorite.
fruit, and they probably couldn't grow them here. Oh, you can come right into the hallway and then through here.
I'll show you my birthday. The Historical Society gave me,
What the closets were, and the rooms the way they had them.
I don't know who built the house. I know it was built in 1879.
Notice the ceiling,
Yes, there was a pattern, there's a, what do you call those? On the ceiling.
I'd call it plaster design. I'm not sure, I know it has a name, but.
There's one out at the Carter House. I remember Peg Carter.
Oh, is there? Peg Carter?
That was all a labor of love, refinishing.
Design based on an oriental pattern? A lot of light in this.
College friend did that.
That's a picture of this house.
Oh, yes, painting this house.
In the fall, it looks like, when the trees are in bloom, or the leaves are colored, I mean.
Yes.
This is kind of an unusual table, I notice here, for the sideboard, too.
That's called a harvest table.
Harvest table.
About that in Rockford. I think it's very rather nice.
No, it looks like the leaves
They do,
come out.
they do. And then in this,
Is there
I think you have to try.
something on there to hold them up, I guess?
But this panel in here, that's what it's rather nice, I think. It's, there's gems on it.
Oh, set into the top of the
Yes,
table.
yes,
Oh, it's like tile. Tile
Yes,
set into the top of the table. And then you could put something hot on it, too.
That's it, on a harvest table, so you can bring your Thanksgiving dinner in here.
Put your hot dishes or whatever there. It's unique,
Now, what's this?
unique.
Oh.
All like Revolutionary
Yes, yes,
era.
and then, over here, Betsy Ross and her flag.
Oh, Betsy Ross in there, too.
There. She's making the flag.
Uh-huh. It is unique. I've never seen one like that.
I haven't either, that's why I brought it.
Certainly. This was the utility room?
No, no, it was on the west.
Oh, it was built on the west, and
Built on the west.
it's